Hey YouTube, I'm on my way up to Atkinson's Reef this morning. I got off to a nice early start. Whenever I go fishing, if possible, I like to drop some crab pots in on the way. I might get some crabs as well as some fish. This time I left from the Cleveland Draby Bay ramp and I've already dropped the crab pots in. Now I'm on my way up to the reef now and hoping to pick up some nice reef fish to take home. Then on the way back I'll pull up the pots and hopefully have some crab as well. As I arrived at Atkinson's Reef, I could see there was only 3 other boats there, so the early morning start was working out pretty well. I would have my pick of the artificial reef areas to target. I cruised around looking for structure on the sounder for a little while. Saw a few fish, not much, but I got the structure, worked out my drift lines, got some burley in the water and started my drifts, and it only took a few minutes for these fellows to turn up. Now, I've fished with quite a few fellows who crack a darkie when turtles or dolphins are in the water around them. They reckon they're going to steal their fish, but I look at it the other way. I think the turtles and dolphins are entitled to the fish, they live there, and I'm just taking what I can. There's plenty to go around, and on the plus side, if the turtles and dolphins are there fishing, it means there's fish there to be caught, and I'm likely to get some too. Now on the negative side, the turtles and dolphins don't have size limits imposed on them, so just because they're there fishing doesn't mean to say there's big fish there. However, it's a generally accepted truism of fishing that where there's little fish, there's big fish wanting to eat them. In spite of the nightly storms that we're having at the moment, it turned out to be a really beautiful day. This is about as rough as it got, and really this is pretty good because when you've got the rod sitting in the rod holders, the wave motion keeps the bait on the bottom a little bit mobile, which I always find is a good thing. Well, lo and behold, the first fish I pulled up off Atkinson's Reef was a whiting. It's the first time I've fished on this reef, but I certainly didn't expect that. But expected or not, he was big enough to keep, so ran the ruler over him to be sure and threw him in the esky. I do like a bit of whiting. Our next fish out was a little bit of an improvement. It was a squire, or baby snapper. Locally we call them squires. But it was still too small, so he had to go back in the water. And splash, there he goes back. I can see him swim away through the water with my Polaroids on, but it doesn't look like you can see it in the video. Our next fish up is another squire or juvenile snapper. He was too small also, but he didn't look too healthy. He had not much movement in him at all. I don't think he was going to survive going back in the water. You can't keep him, so I looked around and I saw a dolphin and I thought, well, let's not waste him. Someone should eat him. I threw him out and the dolphin, I think, appreciated the gesture. He certainly didn't think twice about scoffing him down anyway. And surprise, surprise, I pulled up another whiting. This one was too small to keep. I pulled him up just a little bit off the structure. I haven't fished artificial reefs much before. I usually fish the real deal, and I've never caught a whiting that I can remember on a reef. I usually find them in shallower water. We're 40 feet here, and I usually find them in sandy areas. Don't know what the bottom's like here. It could well be sand, and it could well have something to do with the artificial nature of the reef. Anyway, he had to go back in the water because he's too small, so he lives to be caught another day. Now another small squire, and again back in the water, next to the seagull, but the seagull's either full or decided the squire was too big for him to worry about because the fish got away. Now I've been fishing the structure all morning. I've been drifting over it, running back up and then drifting back again, and been other boats around, a few more turned up, and this one fellow had been fishing one of the other structures or somewhere else. He may not have been on a structure, but he came over when I was just starting a drift and anchored right behind me in my drift line. That's pretty rude, I reckon. Anyway, I cracked the darkie and I decided I'd go and find another fishing ground. Very disappointed in that sort of behaviour. Now I've got some new lures I haven't used before, and I've got this new boat which I haven't trolled in before, and it's got a troll control on it, which again I've never had before. So I stuck the lures on the line, stuck the lines in the holders, and tried the trolling control. I didn't expect to get anything, but I just wanted to see what it was like and how it handled and how the new lures tracked in the water. It was all good, and as I expected, I didn't catch anything. The new spot was better than Harry's, I think. That's Harry Atkinson's Reef. Once I found the structure, as soon as I got the line to the bottom, it got hit. Unfortunately, they were small fry again. Now this fella got gut hooked. It was only a flesh wound, but I didn't much like his chances anyway, but of course he had to go back. I threw him in and he floated upside down, so I was thinking that he wasn't going to make it, and then he managed to right himself and off he went. Didn't waste any time going down at all. It doesn't seem to matter how early a start I get in the morning. It seems to be no time at all passes and it's time to head back in. I don't know where the time goes when I'm out fishing, it just flies by. It's been a top day, really good weather, and the fish have been on the bite even if they have been a bit on the small side. I'm heading back towards Cleveland now and I'm going to pick up my pots. It'd be nice at least to take a feeder crab home to the wife. Well, this is the first pot out of the water, and I've got 2 crabs in it, but I don't even have to get the measuring stick out to know that they're too small to keep. However, some mongrel bloody chair farmer's been at the pot and raided it. I can tell someone's been at it because I always hook the closing strap on this side. It's pretty obvious that someone has pulled it up and taken whatever was in it, because hooking it up on the wrong side, I know I don't do that, and it also leaves a gap in the top of the net so that anything that does get in has another hole to get out of, and it's a lot easier to get out of the top of the net than it is to get out of the funnels that let them in. I hope the mongrels choke to death on the crabs, and if there's any karma in the world, one day they'll get caught by someone with a really bad temper and they'll learn why they shouldn't steal from other people. Well, the share farmer didn't get to this pot. There's 5 in there, and there's at least 2 of them that I'm going to have to put the measuring stick on to see what they go. I think they might just be legal. The rest are going to have to go back though because they're obviously too small to keep. Well, I've got 3 in that crab pot, and a couple of them are a decent size. Although one of those big ones is a Jenny, so that one's going to have to go back. And that other one there's too small, so he'll be going back as well. I'll run the measuring stick across the buck just to be certain, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be top size. Now these fellas are another opportunistic feeder on the water. They never miss out when they see someone pulling up crab pots. If there's any around when I'm pulling up the pots, I usually home in and keep an eye on it to see if I'm pulling them up for the day and throwing the bait back, and they stick close to grab the bait as it goes over the side. Well, this is the last of the pots to pull up, and I've got another 4 in this one. I think there's only 1 keeper. I'm pretty sure there's only 1 keeper, but he is huge. He's worth at least 2 small crabs, 2 small keepers. The wife and I are going to have a real good feeder crab tonight. While I'm home, everything's been cleaned up and put away, and it's time to cook the crabs. We ended up with 5 keepers out of all the pot. This fella here is the biggest of them, and he just about qualifies legal with a mud crab measure. He's a really nice sand crab, and he is full. In fact, all the ones that I kept are quite full. Now, I'm not going to show you the cooking at the moment. It's exactly the same process as my other video on cooking the mud crabs, except that for the sand crabs, I only leave them in for 12 to 12.5 minutes after they come back to the boil. As usual, here's a look at the GPS track that I took for the trip. Each and every one of the green fish marks is some underwater structure at Atkinson's Reef, and as you can see, I set my drifts up and covered most of them. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you got something out of it, please hit the like button down below, and if you'd like to see more of my videos, click on the subscribe button. Until next time, good fishing.